Japanese zombies in the Deep South, the possibility of playing as a soldier, and the likelihood of there being a dark sexual element in Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Yep, I think it's time for another theory video. So we've got a lot to talk about, but before I get started, just two things. First of all, this video isn't really going to be edited because I am pressed for time at the moment. We've got the rain coming, which means my connection is going to be kaputski. Second thing, I want to give a special shout out and a thanks to a Mr. Chaz Strain. Chaz Strain recently commented on one of my Resident Evil videos, and he said, "So, Japanese zombies in Louisiana." Okay. I read this and I was like, shit. That's a very good point. So thank you once again, Mr. Chaz Strain. You are the influence for this YouTube video. So let's get on to it. Now, what we've got recently is leaked/released pictures and video clips of what they're doing for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Everything from, again, not really edited, everything from modeling actors and environments into the game to video clips of the facial animations, everything like that. But in terms of the zombie pictures that were released, this is very interesting. We've got a whole host of, well, a good few ethnic groups here from the pictures that were released. Everything from who we think may be Ethan, to Clancy, to the zombies themselves, Mia, so on and so forth. The zombies are only portrayed by Japanese guys. And this got me thinking even more, you know. This is a potential hint that I haven't really heard anyone discuss yet. Is it possible that the inclusion of zombies in Resident Evil 7 Biohazard will be exclusive to Japan? And if so, how will this work? Now, I understand that this is early days, guys, and the game is due to release in a little over, 4 months now? Something like that? And we also have the Tokyo Game Show just around the corner. But just stick with me on this one. Could this indeed be an indication that the game will be taking us to Japan? Is it likely, on the other hand, that for some reason, let's say Japanese tourists visiting the United States, the southern United States, just happen to get caught up in this shitstorm? It's possible, but I don't think it's very likely. So I theorize that the game will at some point take place in Japan, if not some other Asian network, but probably Japan. If this theory proves sound, this could be in the shape of one or two ways, possibly both. One, the game itself will jump from the southern United States to Japan. And two, both of them, remember, this could be two and two. The Japan segment will take place via a found footage tape. Now this leads me on to the soldiers. Now in my most recent Resident Evil 7 video where I talked about the newly released images, I flirted with the idea that you could come across this guy at some point. But what if you're able to take control of him, maybe during the Japan segment? I discussed how he could be a member of the BSAA, but maybe this guy stems from the US Army. Remember the leaked information regarding the weapons that you could wield? The pistols, the shotguns, the flamethrowers, and the explosives, as well as the inclusion of chainsaws, although the likelihood of a member of the Army or BSAA using the chainsaw may be slim. Regardless, my theory is that you'll be playing as this guy, or at least someone similar during the Japan segment. Now other images of some soldiers were released, but as you can see, these guys don't look very friendly, and it could be that they'd be using technology or weaponry more ruthless, if you like, than the other more friendly looking soldier. So it's possible that not only would you be fending off infected humans, zombies, etc., but also these guys as well. You never know, any part of the game that includes zombies as enemies could indeed take part in the past, i.e. Resident Evil 6, where a large portion of the game took place in China. I know it's not Japan, guys, or even before that. Maybe Raccoon City could make an appearance. It's a stretch, guys, I know, but it's not totally unlikely. It could please a lot of die-hard Resident Evil fans out there, myself included. Now I understand that Matt Mercer, who voices Leon in the more recent Resident Evil games, stated that Capcom want to tone down cameo appearances from other characters in the series to help maintain its own identity as a fresh start to the series. While this may be true, although I still believe we'll at least see one familiar face during the story, he didn't mention anything about locations. Now this leads me on to my final theory for this video, and that is the possibility, the inclusion of sexual themes, more specifically sexual assault in this Resident Evil game. It's something that they've not really tampered with before. They want to keep things fresh. You might think, where's this come from? What evidence do you have to back this up? Obviously, I don't have evidence, but I've got certain ideas that stem from either a picture, which I'm going to enlighten you with in a second, to the influence that the Japanese market want to get over to the Western market. Now, we're not just dealing with the likelihood of zombies, we're not just dealing with the likelihood of army men, soldiers, what have you, but we're also dealing with a theme that's quite similar, and a lot of people have made this comparison to, let's say, films such as The Hills Have Eyes, where people who were affected by nuclear tests become monsters, not just without, although, you know, appearances can be deceiving at the end of the day, but also from within. You know, they're capable of very, very nasty stuff, and a lot of the stuff in The Hills Have Eyes and similar genres like that, including The Wrong Turn, I think, had this, was sexual assault. Before I continue, I just want to put rest that even I think that what I'm about to talk about is a huge stretch, especially if you consider this particular picture as a source. However, even if linking the idea with this image is wrong, I still believe the likelihood of us witnessing a sexual crime may happen. Now, to move on, this image is more than likely showing the woman ready to film herself as a zombie, an infected person, or maybe even a member of the family. But what struck me about this particular photo was how she was covering her lower half with what appears to be a small blanket or item of clothing that isn't attached to her overall outfit, if you like. It could be possible that this may indicate she is naked, or at least only wearing underwear so as to keep her dignity intact when these guys were applying her makeup effects. But this was the exact picture I saw, which made me wonder if indeed a sex crime would take place in the game at some point. With the points I made previously regarding how the Japanese market takes certain influences from the Western market to help their games appeal to them, so they can produce and sell more copies of whatever it may be, in this case Resident Evil 7, I believe that one of the characters, possibly either Mia or a member of the family, will fall victim to this scenario. Now, this is a dark subject matter and one I've never covered before, so I'm trying to be as tactful as I can here. And even I'll admit that this is probably the weaker of the theories I've discussed in this video, but it's a theory I feel that could be made true, whether it's only suggested or explicit, which I don't think it will be at all, considering this game will also be available in VR. Dark stuff. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to give it a like, share it with your friends, family and loved ones, and also give me a subscribe if you see any value to me. I also want to know your thoughts and theories regarding Resident Evil 7, as well as if you agree or indeed disagree with anything that I've said today. Thank you very much once again, guys. My name's Danny, and I'm the 420p guy.